And as usual, Persona news drops and I'm multiple days late to it. Guess that's just my thing, huh? You want to Book.XX here, and welcome to this. So yeah, as I just said, I am fully aware that I'm late on this, but I wanted to make a video on this before the official announcement happens tomorrow. So whatever. So yeah, for those of you who somehow don't know yet, a few days ago, it was leaked leaked. There's some people kind of debating whether or not it was actually leaked or if it was leaked on purpose, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it was leaked on Atlus's Instagram that basically the trailers for the two new Persona games. I don't know why I said that so weirdly, but whatever. Yeah, so the trailers for Persona 3 Reload, the Persona 3 remake that this channel has been basically dedicated to for the past few months, and a new Persona 5 spin-off called Persona 5 Tactica, or Tactics. I think it's Tactics because all of the what the fuck do you call it? All of the text in these trailers is in Portuguese. And whenever I put Tactica into Google Translate from Portuguese to English, it does translate to Tactics. So there is a good chance that it is just going to be called Persona 5 Tactics, but just in case, I'm going to call it Persona 5 Tactica until that's confirmed. But anyway, I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about both these games, give you my opinion. I'm going to start with Tactica because it's the one I have the most to say about. Weirdly enough, I'm definitely more excited for Persona 3 Reload, but I don't really have as much to say about it overall. But regardless, so the reaction to Tactica's announcement has been very mixed, to say the least. A lot of people aren't a fan of the art style, me included. Personally, the trailer reminds me way, way too much of Persona Q for me to be comfortable with it because I absolutely hated Persona Q. But yeah, so that's definitely a problem. But a lot of people are also starting to get sick of the Persona 5 cast, which, look, I fully get. It's been so long since Persona 5 came out, people just want Persona 6. And I've seen so many people saying Atlus just need to move on and announce Persona 6 already. Look, let me just address this now. This has actually proven to me that Persona fans all seem to share, like, half a brain cell. But, like, yeah, look, I don't think any of y'all are thinking about this practically. Everyone who's saying, oh, why won't Atlus just move on and announce Persona 6 already, either don't remember or just don't care about how Persona 5 was announced. Persona 5 was announced way too fucking early. Way too fucking early. And why was it announced so early? Because people were having this exact reaction. People were trying to get sick of all the Persona 4 spin-offs, because, like, fucking what was there? There was Persona 4 Golden, there was the 2 anime adaptations, there was the 2 arena games, there was Q, there was dancing. There was so many Persona 4 spin-offs. And then people just got sick of it, and they started complaining, oh, where's Persona 5? Where's Persona 5? So Atlus was essentially peer pressured into announcing Persona 5, but they announced it way too fucking early, and then people started giving them shit for it. A lot of people, like Gnarly, for example, feel like the game didn't really live up to the hype, and that's why they don't really like it. That's why a lot of people don't really like it, because they just feel like it didn't live up to the hype that Atlus really set for it with all the marketing. And I think they're trying to avoid that happening with Persona 6. And even though people were mad at that and do give Atlus shit for, oh, you shouldn't have announced Persona 5 so early, those same people are now trying to rush them into announcing Persona 6. Has it ever occurred to you fucking boneheads that maybe the game's just not ready to be shown off? Like, all the leakers, like the same leakers who predicted these two announcements, have said that Persona 6 was supposed to be announced last year, during the Persona 25th anniversary, but weren't. Like, Persona 6 was supposed to be announced, but they didn't do it because they just didn't really see the point in it because it wasn't going to be coming out for a few years. Y'all just don't seem to care if the same thing happens again. I feel like y'all aren't thinking clearly here. And also, another thing that people aren't taking into consideration is whether or not the Persona 5 story is actually wrapped up. Because, look, whether y'all like it or not, the spin-offs are a very important part of Persona. And the Persona 5 story still has unanswered questions. Like, okay, look, there's gonna be spoilers for pretty much every Persona game in this video. So if there's any, like, Persona games, like, specifically within the 3 and 5 realm that you haven't played, you should probably click off now. But yeah, in Royal's, like, post-credit scene, I guess, if you finish Akechi's social link, then it's clearly implied that he's still alive. Now, look, it's implied that it's him, it's implied that it's a hallucination. We don't actually know yet. We haven't got really definitive proof that Akechi is actually dead. And, you know, they still need to answer that question before they move on, because Strikers basically just completely ignored the events of Royal, and You know, I just want one more spin-off that's going to clear all that up. And honestly, that's probably another reason why I'm not super happy with the announcement of Tactica, because it doesn't look like it's going to serve that purpose. Because in the trailer, the only Phantom Thieves we see are the core 8, that being Ren through the horror. And we don't see Akechi, we don't see Sumire, we don't see Sophia, we don't see Zenkichi, any of the other Phantom Thieves. We just see the core 8. And that had me concerned that we weren't going to actually get, going to get an answer. That genuinely had me concerned. But since then, there's been a few other leaks that have come out. And here's basically, now look, everything I'm about to say is entirely speculation. It's just stuff I've picked up from research, so take this with a fucking gallon of salt. But from what I understand, the person that leaked the name Persona 3 Reload was a Reset Era user, and I think their name was like I Am a Hero 2 or something. And they predicted the Persona 3 Reload name. They said there was going to be a Persona 3 remake called Persona 3 Reload, and there was going to be a new Persona 5 spinoff. Now, from what I've picked up on, before this person deactivated their account, they said that Tactica was not the Persona 5 spinoff they were talking about. Apparently, they were talking about something else. And from what apparently, now look, I don't know if they actually said this or not, but apparently they said that Tactica is like a Persona Q situation, so it's like it takes place in the middle of a game. So considering we only see Ren through horror, I imagine it probably takes place either during the Okumura arc or maybe during the Shido arc, or maybe it takes place during the Depth of Memento section. I don't really know. Point is, it takes place during a palace where only those Phantom Thieves are around, which would be the 3 I just mentioned. So yeah, that's interesting. But on top of that, apparently there is another Persona 5 spin-off in development. Now, I did see someone on the Reset Era post say that apparently this I'm a Hero 2 person mentioned a Persona 5E, and like apparently it was going to be very social based. I don't really know. That's literally the only place I've heard that. So, you know, don't take this as gospel. I'm just telling you what I've heard. But yeah, so basically, long story short, apparently Tactics isn't the next big Persona 5 game that's going to continue the story. And there's going to be another one releasing next year, which may or may not be a social-based one called Persona 5E or whatever. So yeah, basically, it looks like this might not actually be the final Persona 5 game. And if that is the case, they are going to make another Persona 5 game next year that actually does continue on the story from where Strikers left off. Atlas, why does Tactica exist? Like, nobody is asking for this. Even the people that do want another Persona 5 spinoff, like myself, only really want it so that you can wrap up the story. Well, that and also to shut up the fucking dumbasses that somehow think Royal isn't canon. If anyone's interested, I have an entire video on that. Oh god, that really pisses me off. But whatever. Why does Tactica exist? If it's not going to continue on the story, I don't really think there's anybody that cares. I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to play it regardless. But if this is true, it definitely makes me care a hell of a lot less about this game. And it makes me just even more intrigued as to what this new Persona 5 game could possibly be. But regardless, that's just the Persona 5 Tactica stuff. Let's get to the part that a lot more people are excited about. And that is Persona 3 Reload. So, yeah, all the videos that I've made over the past few years, months, I'm a fucking idiot. All the videos I've made over the past few months have actually meant something. Because, yeah, there is indeed a Persona 3 remake, and it's called Persona 3 Reload. And, by the way, just to clear this up, both of these games are coming to more than just Xbox. Somehow, Persona fans don't seem to learn from what happens in the past, considering last year this exact same thing happened, and y'all still somehow think these are going to be Xbox exclusive. Like, do y'all ever learn your fucking lessons? But whatever. It was leaked on like a Spanish retailer or something that Persona 3 Reload is going to be coming to Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Switch. And also presumably Steam as well. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. And with Tactica, I'm sure it's going to be released on multiple different things. Like, it's Persona 5, of course it is. But regardless, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Y'all should really learn by this point. But whatever. So that's something that I wanted to get out of the way. But another thing I wanted to say is that there's a few things in the trailer that I'm not super keen on. For one, the new sprites, like the new bus stops, most of them look fine. The Kenji one looks fine. The Yukari one looks pretty good. The Toriumi one looks pretty good. The one that I didn't really like was the Junpei one. I don't know. That one looks off to me. I don't know. It just don't look right to me. But to be fair, that's only 4 out of the entire game. So who knows? We don't get to see any of the other party members. Well, we get to see I guess we don't get to see her bust up. Another thing I noticed is that they seem to have gotten rid of the anime cutscenes. Like, it seems that they're just going to be doing 3D, like, CGI cutscenes, which is fine. If they want to do 3D animated cutscenes, that's totally fine. I mean, this is being made in Unreal Engine, so I can kind of understand why. But, I don't know. The thing is, that choice really makes the next thing I want to talk about a lot more questionable, and that's that there is no footage of the FemC or the answer. Atlas... If you had anime cutscenes in this, you would have a legit excuse as to why the FemC isn't, because, you know, getting the anime cutscenes made is pretty expensive. But if you're not going to have anime cutscenes, the FemC should be a lot easier to implement, surely. Like, look, here's my thing. Persona 3 does not have a definitive edition. The reason I wanted a remake of Persona 3 was because I wanted a definitive edition. And you can't really do that with the existing ports, since FES and Portable are so fucking different. So the only real way was to completely remake the game. That's the only reason I even wanted a Persona 3 remake. So if you're gonna make it, you should make it a definitive edition and include both the answer, which is important to the Persona story because it plays a part in the Persona 4 Arena games, and also the FemC, because people really, really like the FemC. And, you know, Atlas put it all over the marketing for the 25th anniversary. So, I don't know. I mean, it was only one trailer, so maybe the answer might still be revealed later on, but I don't see the FemC being announced later on. However, I could see them adding both of these things, if neither of them are in the game. I could see them adding both of these things as DLC. With how Atlas has been going with DLC over the past few years, I could totally see this happening, and honestly... yeah, if they're ever going to add these things, it will be through DLC. Hell, it could be day 1 DLC for all we fucking know. Like, they had the lost numbers from fucking Tool Hackers 2 be day 1 DLC, so what's to stop them from doing this? So, whatever, I don't really know. But one more thing I actually want to bring up, I actually wanted to bring this up earlier, but I forgot about it, was that one of the things I said in my What I Want in the Persona 3 Remake video was I wanted the protagonist to be able to use multiple weapons again. From what I see in the trailer, I don't think he can. Simply because during the point where the protagonist is in the weapon shop buying stuff from the police officer, you can see that all of the different weapons are split up between characters again, like they were in Persona 3 Portable and also Persona 4 and 5. And yeah, I think if they're splitting the store up between the different characters, it's pretty safe to say that Makoto is only going to be able to use the one-handed swords again, which... I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but if you're going to have Strike, Pierce, and fucking Slash all in the game, I would like the ability to change the kind of melee damage that the protagonist does. I feel like that pays to be able to do, but whatever. It's a bit of a nitpick, but it is something that I noticed I wanted to bring up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. Okay, no, that's pretty much everything. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. Leave a comment in the comment section below telling me your opinions on Tactica, and if you believe the rumors that I just said. You know, give me your opinions on Persona 3 Reload, if you think they will add the FemC in the answer, and what you think of the trailer in general. I actually really like how Reload works. I just wanted to bring up a few. Of my little nitpicks with it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.